Hello dear students, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ritesh Burden, and in this video I'm back with one more very interesting and emotional story of a grandson and a grandmother. This story has been taken from your textbook in English class 11th, Hornbill, lesson 1, The Portrait of a Lady, written by Khushwant Singh. This is a very beautiful story, and I personally like this story very much. This story is important to us because it reminds us of our own grandparents, our grandmothers and our grandfathers. They're so close to us, so close to our hearts, and we really love them too much. Their role is too important in our lives. It really becomes very difficult to make difficult choices and decisions in life without their advice. Please watch this video till the end, and I assure you that you are really going to enjoy a lot. I request you to please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and also please share it with your companions. But watching till the end is a must. In this story, Khushwant Singh talks about his beautiful childhood experiences that he had with his grandmother. It seems that his childhood time with his grandmother was the best part of his life. He draws a very interesting portrait of his grandmother. He presents her as a tender, loving, and a very religious lady. She was very old. Her face was wrinkled. Her hair was white. It was hard to believe that once she had been young and pretty. Now, something about his grandfather. His grandfather's picture hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. He wore a big turban. His clothes were loose. He looked at least 100 years old. It was hard to believe that he had once a wife or children. He appeared to have lots and lots of grandchildren. Khushwant Singh's grandmother was a short lady. She was fat and slightly bent. She couldn't walk straight. She hobbled about the house. She had to keep one hand on her waist to balance her stoop. In the other, she held a rosary. She was always telling the beads. Her lips constantly moved in prayer. She put on white clothes. Her silver locks scattered over her pale face. Khushwant Singh says she was like the winter's landscape in the mountains, an expanse of pure white serenity, breathing peace and contentment. She was very old. Perhaps she could not have looked older. She looked the same for the last 20 years. Khushwant Singh and his grandmother were very good friends. His parents left him with her when they went to live in the city, and they were constantly together. It was the duty of the grandmother to wake him up and get him ready for school. She said her morning prayers in a monotonous sing-song while she bathed and dressed him. She sang those prayer songs in audible voice in the hope that Khushwant Singh would listen and get to know it by heart. Khushwant Singh listened not because he wanted to learn those prayer songs, but because he loved to hear his grandmother's voice. Then she would fetch his wooden slate that she had already washed and plastered with yellow chalk. She would take an earthen ink pot and a red pen. She would tie them in a bundle and hand it to him. She would give him a thick stale chapati with little butter and sugar spread on it. It was his breakfast. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. His grandmother always went to school with him. Very important point. Always went to school with him. The school was attached to the temple. The priest taught children the alphabet and the morning prayer. The children sat in 2 rows in the veranda. They would sing the alphabet or the prayer in a chorus. The grandmother sat inside the temple. The grandmother would read holy books. Then they would walk home together. This time the village dogs would meet them at the temple door. They followed them to their home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis they threw to them. The narrator's parents sent for them in the city when they were comfortably settled there. It was a turning point in their friendship. Although they shared the same room, but the grandmother no longer went to school with him. The narrator used to go to an English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the streets, so grandmother took to feeding the sparrows. Years rolled by. They saw less of each other. Sometimes she would ask him what the teacher had taught him. She did not believe in the things they taught at the English school. She was unhappy. Everything in the school was taught in English, and her problem was that she did not know English. She felt sad, and also she felt bad that there was no teaching about God and the scriptures at school, this new school. The narrator one day told her that they were given music lessons. She was disturbed. She did not like that at all, that music. She thought that music was made for indecent people. According to her, it was not meant for gentle folk. After the school, the narrator went to university. He was given a room of his own. The common link of friendship was broken. This room was the common link of their friendship. The grandmother accepted her loneliness. She was always busy with her spinning wheel and reciting prayers. She rarely talked to anyone. In the afternoon, she relaxed for a while to feed the sparrows. She sat in the veranda. She broke the bread into little bits. Then she would throw them to sparrows. Hundreds of sparrows came there. They created veritable bedlam of chirping. Lots of birds chirping together, mixed noise. Some came and perched on her legs and others on her shoulders. Some even sat on her head. She smiled but never shooed them away. And it used to be the happiest half hour of the day. After the university, the narrator decided to go abroad for higher studies. He was to remain away for 5 years. The grandmother was very old. She could die any moment. The narrator was worried, but the grandmother was not upset. She showed no emotion. She came to the railway station to see him off. Her lips moved in prayer. Her mind was lost in prayer. Her fingers were busy telling the beads of her rosary. She kissed his forehead silently. The narrator thought that it was the last sign of physical contact between them. The narrator returned home after 5 years. His grandmother met him at the station. She did not look a day older. She did not speak anything. She held him in her arms. She went on reciting her prayers. In the afternoon, she fed the sparrows as usual. In the evening, a change came over her. She didn't pray. She collected the women of the neighborhood. She got an old drum. She continued thumping the old drum for several hours. She started singing. She sang of the homecoming of warriors. The family had to persuade her to stop. She might overstrain herself. It was for the first time that she had forgotten to pray. She did not pray for some time. The next morning, she fell ill. She had a mild fever. She told them that her end was near. She realized that she had forgotten to pray. She didn't want to talk. It would be a waste of time. She ignored their requests. She lay peacefully in bed. She was praying and telling beads. Then her lips stopped moving. The rosary fell down from her lifeless fingers. Peaceful paleness spread on her face, and they knew that she was dead. She was laid on the ground. She was covered with a red shroud. Arrangements for her funeral were being made. In the evening, they left her room with a rough stretcher to take her to be cremated. The sun was setting and had left her room and veranda with a blaze of golden light. They stopped halfway in the courtyard, all over the veranda and in her room, right up to where she lay dead and stiff, wrapped in red shroud. Thousands of sparrows sat scattered on the floor. No sound of the birds, no chirruping. The narrator and his family felt bad for these birds because they thought that these birds had come for food. The narrator's mother fetched some bread for them. She broke it into little pieces in the same way the grandmother used to do, and she threw these breadcrumbs to these birds. The sparrows took no notice of the bread, and when they carried the grandmother's corpse off, they flew away quietly. And the next morning, the sweepers swept the breadcrumbs into the dustbin. This shows that these birds did not come to eat anything that day, but to mourn the death of this graceful lady, the grandmother of Khushwant Singh. And this is how Khushwant Singh portrays the life of his grandmother. Such a beautiful story. Please like, subscribe and share, and also study hard. Thank you so much for watching.